Yo, what's up? It's your boy Domuto. We back with another video. Today we're watching the Geek for Fun. What if Goku was in DC Part 3? And I believe we're watching Part 4. So it's going to be a long video because Part 4 is like 30 minutes long and Part 3 is 20 minutes long. So you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all get y'all drinks, get your little snacks on, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? You know what to do. Y'all know what to do, man, when y'all watch these videos, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, we about to get into it. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and let's go.
It has been 7 years since Goku became a hero to Metropolis, bringing in an era of heroism and gigantic battles. The Justice League was formed, with Goku spending much of his time honing his skills against the many threats that would challenge the Earth. Telepathic apes, alternative universe counterparts, crime syndicates, cosmic terrors, and immortals. Through it all, Goku felt his power began to reach its limits, his increases in strength growing smaller and smaller. This fact frustrated him, as through his races with the Flash, or encounters with godlike cosmic beings, he knew that there were still greater heights to reach. But it seemed like no matter how hard he pushed himself, the wall was too high. His physical powers weren't the only things weighing on his mind. Ma Kent had passed away, leaving Goku in charge of the farm. He was with her as she died, but Goku never found the time to console in her now that he knew the truth about Pa's real cause of death. Paired with this guilt, he was still conflicted about Lex Luthor. In the years since their early conflicts, Lex had seemingly reformed, becoming a champion of good to Metropolis that helped in ways Goku simply didn't know how. Economics, politics, social justice, these aspects became what Luthor was revered for, while Goku remained more a beloved mascot, protecting Metropolis from powerful threats, not a force for societal change. Lois Lane still tried to uncover Luthor's secret dealings, and Goku tried to help as much as he could, but they simply couldn't find a way to expose the man. Another battleground Goku was hopeless in was the matters of the heart. Lady Shiva had been a recurring threat to Goku over the years, but these encounters would often devolve into her flirting with the confused Saiyan. Their love of battle and prior time together during Goku's training led to him being unsure how to respond to these advances, with one particularly intimate battle leading Goku to Coast City, where he sought the help of the one friend he knew he could talk to this about, Hal Jordan.
Lady Shiva? World's deadliest assassin, Lady Shiva?
Uh-huh. She's bad, right?
Alright. She's bad, right?
I mean, never mind. If we're gonna talk about this, I'm gonna need a drink.
As Goku and Hal began to engage in a very awkward conversation, the news report playing on the bar's TV broke them out of it. Goku looked up in shock as three figures emerged from a boom tube, immediately recognizing that two of the three had tails. Hal and Goku quickly made their way to the scene, while Raditz began to address the world on Vegeta's behalf.
People of Earth, rejoice! Lord Vegeta has come to usher in a new era. He serves a power unlike any you have ever known. Absolute, infinite, and unrelenting. You have no choice but to prepare for a long, dark future as slaves to our master's will.
Goku and Hal would arrive, with Raditz immediately recognizing Goku as his little brother. He directs the camera to Goku as if he were a showman, smiling as he continued his declaration.
We are the Saiyans. Once killer of worlds for profit and sport, we now remaining survivors have a higher purpose, and we are not the first of our kind to make your planet ours. He is here now, Kakarot, a hero, my little brother.
Oh, shit.
Goku and Hal were stunned at the revelation, trying to fool themselves that this must be some kind of
Goku,
trick.
they got you.
What fools you are! The man who stands before you was sent to your world to raze it to the ground. It seems he's done a rather poor job of it, so...
Raditz turns to Vegeta, asking for permission to begin. Vegeta looked over to Nappa and nodded. Nappa, in response, raised two fingers in the air and obeyed the order. The explosion came almost instantly, with Hal barely having time to form a barrier around himself and Goku, who was still in shock from everything he had just heard. In one gigantic flash of light, the population of Coast City was reduced from 7 million to 5. The trio of Saiyans stood as lone figures in the ruins, with Raditz quickly finding the battered body of his little brother standing up from beneath the rubble. Raditz thanked Goku for surviving the blast, despite being so weak, while Goku jumped forward, desperately trying to fight back.
I'll die before I let you murder an entire world full of people!
But he was defeated in just a single
them niggas strong as hell.
Raditz then proceeded to pummel his brother, a twisted smile forming on his face.
What's wrong? I wouldn't want this to be over before we had a proper reunion. Earth really has made you soft. And here I spent all those years, jealous of you. But look at you. You're nothing. You should have never been born. You're a disgrace. Just a Saiyan. While I am one of the chosen.
Raditz continued to torture Goku as he lay helpless, until Vegeta stopped him.
I like this little
Do
twist.
not forget why we're here, Raditz. I have no patience for your personal issues.
Yes, my lord.
As Raditz began to charge one final attack, the Saiyan's attention shifted to a small green light emerging from a trench in the ground.
In brightest day, in blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight. Oh, it looks like your little friend is still alive, Kakarot. Let those who worship evil's might. What is he mumbling? A final prayer? Beware my power. Green Lantern's light!
The entire area was suddenly engulfed in a blinding green glow, Hal spending the last of his charge to form a construct around Goku in the shape of his Nimbus, and then sending it out of the area as fast as he could make it. Furious, Raditz turned and fired a blast at Hal, who managed to say one last word before his body was blasted apart.
Oh, damn.
Gotcha.
Only the lantern ring remained, and quickly shot off into the sky, while Raditz attempted to follow in the direction Goku had been sent, but Vegeta stopped him in his tracks. They were here for the anti-life equation. They were here to prepare the world for Darkseid. Nappa and Raditz were sent to confuse and scatter the world's heroes by causing mass destruction.
Damn, that was
with
pretty
Nappa
dark. They got
heading to
a
Hub City
nigga Hal
and
Jordan.
Raditz reluctantly heading to Bloodhaven. Goku would crash onto
Kill him with
Themyscira,
this story.
Hal's last 1 in a million construct, getting his friend to safety before finally dissipating. Diana was in shock to see someone as powerful as Goku on the edge of death, and quickly took him to the Amazonian healing chambers, home to the Purple Ray, a mythic device that can heal all wounds. While Goku was being treated, Raditz continued his search as much as he could, instructing his mother box, the living computer, to alert him if Kakarot's vitals were detected. With his revenge postponed, he decided to continue with his mission, floating over Bloodhaven for just a moment before reducing the entire city to ash. In the Batcave, Batman slammed his desk in frustration as his communication line with Nightwing went dead. Just moments before, he had been organizing the Bat family.
Hey, Batman, the Bat family, you need to get the fuck off Earth. I'm not gonna cap. And nigga might think, oh, you dick rider, Damo. You dick. You niggas, you niggas need to get off Earth. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, y'all deal with niggas like Darkseid and shit before. Yeah, but these niggas strong. They get stronger eventually if they keep training. So y'all should not hop in this fight at all. Stay, you know, throw a little something and then hide. Throw something, hide. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all need to do. Batman, unless you can build you a little robot that can. Nah, that ain't gonna work either.
Preparing to evacuate cities, but now his boy was gone.
These niggas might
all
fuck around,
because
turn
he
Super
hadn't been
Saiyan in
able
the
to
middle of a
react
fight.
fast enough.
So.
He swore that wouldn't happen again.
The League is not going to be enough. Alfred, activate protocol. Uzaru.
Meanwhile, Nappa was making his way to Hub City, deliberately slowing himself down so he could save all the destruction he left on his way there. This bliss would be short-lived, however, as Hawkgirl slammed her mace into his jaw, sending him crashing onto the road below. As he tried to get up, he was smashed back into the air by an uppercut from Aquaman, leading him straight into Hawkgirl's second strike.
I'm not letting you damn apes take another world!
The pair's combo was executed perfectly, and yeah, Nappa emerged from the wreckage with a bigger smile than he had had before.
By Poseidon!
How the hell is he still standing?
Don't start praying yet. You can save those for a different god after I'm through with you.
Nappa closed the distance between him in a burst of speed, and with one devastating blow, severed Aquaman's arm from his body.
Aquawick.
With a city destroyed, Raditz began his search for Goku once more, combing the next city for any choice of where he had landed. However, he didn't get very far before he felt Vegeta's voice demanding that they retreat to Apokolips. Initially, he was obedient, but then Raditz quickly realized that something was wrong here. The Martian Manhunter deduced that Raditz had seen through his first mental attack, so he increased the intensity with a more direct assault. Raditz screamed in pain as he fell to the ground, his own memories feeling like they were being weaponized into tiny daggers piercing into his brain. Yet the Saiyan, while shaken, was not out. Granny Goodness had raised him well. He was all too familiar with mental domination, and so attuned his mother box to find a countermeasure, while he began to fight back. Raditz and Martian Manhunter were trading blow for blow, with the Martian's intangibility serving as a key edge in the fight, pushing Raditz on the back foot.
Okay, Martian
Before
Manhunter
Jones could do further damage, however, the mother box activated the psychic blockers implanted into Raditz's mind, allowing the Saiyan to fight unhampered and send Jones crashing into a nearby truck, blasting the area and engulfing the Martian in flames. Raditz cackled with confidence before being hit by what looked like a red hurricane.
Welcome to Keystone, creep.
The Flash doused the fire of Johns and helped his friend to his feet, the pair preparing to launch another assault on the now furious Saiyan. Goku opened his eyes, yet he wasn't on Themyscira. He was alone, standing in a white void.
Huh? How did I get here? Last thing I remember was... No! I have to get back! I have to help Hal!
Hal Jordan is dead, my boy. Though you're not too far from that yourself.
The man standing in front of Goku looked identical to his master I Ching, but yet something was wrong. Goku tried to sense his energy, but it was the same as the white void that surrounded them. The man explained that his name was Ol Yang, the counterpart to I Ching, the living embodiment of the principle of Yang to I Ching's Yin, and the one man who could grant Goku the power to save the world.
I don't understand. His body should be healed, but...
Wonder Woman bit her lip in frustration. She had sought to help Goku heal and then join the battle. However, despite the purple ray seemingly healing him, he would not wake, and his vitals were continuing to spike. Hippolyta, the mother of Wonder Woman, told her daughter that she was needed on the battlefield. Meanwhile, Hippolyta herself would watch over Goku, understanding what he was going through and preparing for what needed to be done. Time was running out, and Diana had no other choice.
I shall handle these invaders, old friend. May the gods help you in your own fight.
Nappa stood over Hawkgirl, his hands wrapped around her wings as his boot pressed into her back.
Damn.
Now this brings back good memories. Been a long time since I had Thanagarian wings in my trophy room.
Aquaman rose to his feet, limping towards the Saiyan on the last attempt to try and save his friend.
Face me, monster! Have you no pride?
Nappa paused for a moment, before beginning to tear Hawkgirl's wing.
I had that beaten out of me.
Before Nappa could do serious damage, dozens of small pellets exploded onto his face, covering it in a cement-like substance that began to blind and suffocate the Saiyan. A mechanical fist then hit him to the next block, revealing the Batman, wearing his most powerful armor.
Get the hell
okay,
off
Batman,
my
let me find him.
Batman placed Hawkgirl's
I'm sorry,
hands of
Batman
safety
fans.
before catching a collapsing Aquaman.
A mechanical suit is not going to stop someone like him.
I know. I have a plan.
Of course. Bruce, what do you need?
I need him to bleed.
Consider it done.
Nappa roared with anger, sending a blast from his mouth that cleared the substance from his face. His eyes were red with rage, no longer having any sense of self. Aquaman charged ahead, his wounded body no longer caging the spirit of a king. He assaulted Nappa from all fronts, taking every counter blow and responding in turn. Despite Nappa's rage, Aquaman matched it, until finally, Arthur struck Nappa across the eye with his trident, blood gushing into the Saiyan's vision. Aquaman turned to Batman, acknowledging that the task was done. With the safety of his people given a chance, the King of Atlantis fell to soil, dead. Seeing his main threat fall, Nappa felt his warrior instincts calm and turned his attention to Batman, vanishing, then appearing in front of the hero in an instant. He held the mech in his grip, crushing it like paper.
This was your big shot? Ha! What was this toy even for?
To get you close.
A grey mist was released from the mech suit, sprayed directly into Nappa's face. The Saiyan rubbed his eyes. The blood rushing from his cut began to increase, along with a strange feeling overtaking his mind. Nappa shrugged it off, only to turn his head and see Batman, with no armor, standing in the middle of the road. Nappa laughed before being struck in the face by Batman's opened fist, hundreds of blows raining on him in an instant. Nappa swung to retaliate, but Batman dodged every blow, moving with total grace, and then striking back with tens of times the force.
But Intel said you were just a guy in a bat costume. I'm a warrior of apocalypse.
And I'm Batman.
Nappa shot a blast towards Batman, who without moving took it head on, the smoke clearing to reveal he hadn't been injured at all.
This can't be happening! This doesn't make any sense!
In reality, Wonder Woman had just arrived on the scene to see Batman standing far away from Nappa, who was currently attacking thin air, as he had been for hours.
Oh, okay.
Nanites injected into his bloodstream. They're making him think he's fighting an unbeatable opponent.
Wonder Woman noticed the body of Arthur Curry on the ground, the wounded Hawkgirl, and the hundreds of civilians dead at Nappa's hands. This had gone on long enough. It was time to end it.
We shall take him to his master and send them back where they came.
If you're taking him, we need to break his arms.
The Flash attacked Raditz from every possible angle, at speeds so fast it was as if they were all at once. Raditz, however, remained more focused on Martian Manhunter, who was using his shape-shifting and attempted to suffocate the Saiyan by wrapping around his throat, while the Flash tried to create a vacuum, sucking the air out of his lungs. Raditz broke out of it by erupting in a giant explosion of ki, sending both of the heroes flying backwards.
DC out here jumping.
You should be more thankful, Martian. If you just sit down and let me kill you, things will go a lot smoother.
Flash, I'm afraid this Saiyan may be too much for us to defeat. Evacuate the city. I've already alerted the others. We can retreat.
No, I think I know what the problem is. Just hang tight. I'll be back in a flash.
Wally got into a sprinter's position, the world around him slowing down as his eyes crackled with the energy of the Speed Force. Barry had taught him how to live in this world, how to dodge and weave, trip, disable, push, everything he needed to be a hero. But against this man, he needed to do more than that. Barry never taught him how to hurt a man. He had to figure that one out for himself. The Flash grabbed Raditz, going so fast that they arrived in the Grand Canyon before Raditz even realized he had been moved. The Saiyan was strong enough to shake him off, but Wally sped off again in a red and gold streak, before returning almost instantly, his fists raised as he kept running, circling the world hundreds of times. The faster an object moves, the more mass it gains. Before Raditz could even feel the blow, he was hit by an infinite mass punch. The shockwave was so great it could be felt by Martian Manhunter despite the distance, and he tried to reach Wally's mind to see the outcome.
Flash, are you?
I'm okay. He's down, out cold. I think I broke my hand though. Ow.
You are a very brave man, Wally West.
Oh, Wally West? Okay.
The heroes of Earth have barely managed to beat back 2 of the 3 Saiyan invaders, but at great cost. Will their combined forces be enough? What will be the result of Kakarot's training? One thing can be certain. The biggest threat is yet to come.
Let's go. Part 4, baby.
Last time on Dragon Ball DC. The evil Darkseid sent his Saiyan warriors to Earth. Hal and Goku were quickly taken out by the Saiyan Raditz, who revealed to the world he was Goku's brother.
Hey, we can skip this though.
But before being killed, Hal joined and at great cost. Now the League goes to confront the leader of the Saiyan invasion. Can Goku complete his training in time?
Goku fell to the ground once more, exhausted, while his teacher All Yang laughed as the Saiyan had failed once again.
How long have I been in here?
6 days, 6 months, 6 years. Doesn't matter.
Time flowed differently in the mindscape, yet it wasn't stopped altogether. It was buying Goku time, but he still couldn't close the gap between himself and the Saiyans.
I'm wasting too much time here! I can still sense bits of what's happening. My friends, everyone, they're in trouble while you just keep telling me to get angry!
All Yang smiled, explaining that this was the problem. Those emotions, the caring. He needed pure anger, hate. Hampering it with hope limited his control. The foolish teachings I Ching had taught him were, apparently, holding him back. The Saiyans didn't share such a weakness. and so they are strong. Goku denied any association with the Saiyans, not wanting to even acknowledge that part of himself. Monsters, murderers, who sent him here just to kill. Is that why he was so truly obsessed with getting stronger? Not to express himself, but to hurt people? Ouyang explained that his Saiyan side was part of him, just like his human upbringing, but he must not choose his weaker side. He must only embrace his Saiyan side, become completely who he was meant to be, a warrior. Kakarot. Goku suddenly saw the image of the grey ape in the mindscape, killing Pa, rampaging, completely out of control. He had been capable of the same destructions the Saiyans are now causing, and while he stood here complaining, people were dying.
This is the power-up you need. If you could harness your Great Ape form's berserker power, you could kill them all. Your tail is only needed for the transformation. The raw power is still inside your body.
Goku took a deep breath before smiling, getting into a meditative stance, no longer trying to fight.
What are you doing? You've already gotten much stronger. You're close. Sitting down is halting training.
I'm gonna take a break. Torturing myself isn't training. You're supposed to know pretty much everything, so could you tell me what the Saiyans are? What my brother's life was?
Ouyang hesitated, but eventually he allowed this, explaining Raditz's and the Saiyans' history to Goku. He wished to break I Ching's training of Goku and turn him into his own personal weapon to bend the world. He couldn't keep trying to force him, or else he'd push him away before he could fully manipulate him. Vegeta remained sat in the ruins of Coast City, as he had been for the majority of the day. His eyes closed as his mother box told him all he needed.
To think they couldn't even handle this much on their own.
Vegeta rose to his feet as Wonder Woman arrived with Nappa tied in the lasso of truth.
I am Diana of Themyscira, and I am here to offer a chance for you to leave in peace. Your comrade here is no longer able to fight. Take him and your other ally back to whence you came. No further harm needs to be done this day.
Vegeta approached the pair. Nappa was now laying on the ground, and Batman was hidden on a vantage point, analysing the situation.
Kill him.
Diana extended her hand to Vegeta, while Vegeta looked down at Nappa, before facing Wonder Woman, his hand extended now too.
Vegeta, this rope, it'll let me see the truth. After all these years, we can have a better life, like the old days.
Vegeta incinerated Nappa with a single blast, maintaining eye contact with Wonder Woman the entire time.
I have no need for a soldier who can't fight.
You monster!
Wonder Woman tried to strike Vegeta, but he caught her blow, her incredible strength impressing even him.
Well now, isn't this a surprise? To think a backwater place like this could produce someone like you.
Damn.
Before their battle could escalate further, Vegeta noticed a familiar figure entering into view. Raditz, who looked as if he was running for his life. Behind him, the Flash followed, panting heavily, while Martian Manhunter unclawed himself from Wally's arm. The battle had drained the Flash, and he was no longer able to harness his full power.
You better have a damn good explanation as to why you've brought these weaklings to my doorstep.
Yes, my lord. I simply wish to, show you their defeat myself.
Vegeta was tempted to kill Raditz in that moment, but decided he needed someone to take care of the rest while he fought the female. She had piqued his interest. Batman regrouped with Flash and Martian Manhunter, pooling their knowledge with the Saiyans and how...
I ain't gonna lie, this is some fire ass. Look, Geek for Fun, you doing your thing with this one, man. I gotta do an appreciation. Hey, the storytelling. I'm sorry if I'm not talking, because this is just like really good. I'm not gonna lie. Like he blended the characters and these stories very like perfectly, or really good. So shout out to you. That's why I had to stop and do that real quick.
Best to defeat them. Raditz, realizing he needed an edge if he wanted to win, decided to go against Vegeta's preferences and use his mother box to send in a small unit of parademons from Apocalypse, charging at the three grounded heroes with his new reinforcements. Goku thought about everything his life had taught him. He had no idea how long it had been for him since he first emerged in this place, but it had given him everything he needed to decide his next course of action. He loved to fight. He loved to help people. He helped his friends. He forgave his enemies. Goku believed that everyone deserved another chance to come back stronger. He wanted to fight them at their best, but Did that just mean strength? Was he really fighting the best possible version of a person if their life had held them back? His parents had raised him, but he was sent to Earth to kill them. He killed Pa. But Ma saved him, I Ching trained him, and now all Yang was trying to manipulate him. His brother hated him, but only because he wasn't there for him. The Saiyans were monsters, but they were victims of genocide themselves by a bigger monster. Everything had two sides, but one wasn't inherently right. One wasn't inherently stronger. One wasn't enough. He needed the duality. That's what his symbol had been there for. To remind him, Kakarot, the Saiyan warrior, Yin, Kent, the hero of Metropolis, Yang. He felt the great ape power inside of him roaring, raging to be set free. Goku tapped into it, only touching what he needed, never letting it envelop him. His aura burst to life, destructive and untamed. He was like the center of a storm, his muscles growing in size as energy poured into them. Yang smiled. This must be it. This must be the wrath, the anger. Until the storm stopped. His aura was destructive, but tempered, flickering on and off in bursts of green. He opened his eyes, while his black hair stood upright. He took a breath, and then his features returned to normal, the power returning inside of him as quickly as it came.
Thank you. I'm grateful for having the time to train and figure things out. But I ain't gonna just focus on one side anymore.
The round faded around him, with all Yang beginning to fade with it. He could only enter Goku's mind due to his weakened state, but now he would never be able to take him. All Yang cursed his fate, and decided to try again one day with another. Wonder Woman began to lose ground, as Vegeta started to increase the intensity of his attacks. She was never overwhelmed. To the people on the ground, they looked like total equals. Every hit given was met with one right back. However, Diana knew she couldn't keep up this pace, not without doing something desperate, and the Saiyan just kept increasing in ferocity.
Oh, what's wrong? Maybe I expected too much. After all, you're only a woman.
Vegeta cracked across the chin by a kick from Diana, sending him hurtling into the ground below. However, he regained his composure and landed safely.
That's Wonder Woman to you.
Oh,
now,
shit.
you were saying?
Very well, Wonder Woman.
Batman and company, however, were faring much worse. Having to deal with the parademons on top of Raditz was simply too much. Raditz even began blasting through his own soldiers to get better shots on the heroes, hitting Martian Manhunter as he shielded Batman and Flash from one blast. The three had nothing left. It was all but over. Or so it would have been, had Goku not arrived and deflected the final blast.
Hi guys! Sorry it took so long, but I'll take it from here, alright?
The Saiyan had arrived in just a nick of time, his damaged orange outfit now replaced with a black and white variant prepared by Hippolyta. Raditz clenched his fist in anger at the sight of his brother, dashing at Goku with all his speed, as if his wounds from earlier had been dismissed by his rage. But no matter how fast he moved, no matter what trick he tried, Raditz couldn't touch Goku.
This isn't right. It's only been a couple of hours. A simple Zenkai couldn't have made you this strong.
Raditz! You don't have to do this anymore! I know what happened! I know about Darkseid!
Everyone in the area turned at the mention of the name, with Vegeta and Raditz in particular staring in shock at Goku.
You know about Darkseid? What is that, a joke?
Raditz's body began to glow, white hot lightning crackling around him in waves.
If you knew Darkseid, you would be on your knees for the Master. He is beyond good and evil. He is the prophet of anti-life. He is the rock, the chain, and the light.
Damn, Dick riding at his finest, nigga. Damn.
All unforgiving, all conquering. He is your new god, now and forever.
This is what niggas be talking about when niggas talk about Duke Dennis. This is what it's how they be sounding. They be on this dick like this.
Now let us die! Die for Darkseid!
Goku raised his arms, attempting to shield the three behind him, but moving faster than even he could recognize, Wonder Woman appeared in front of him, knowing that only her bracelets had the power to block a blast of this magnitude from destroying the planet. The explosion could be seen from space, a final marking engraving Raditz's dedication for Darkseid into the Earth itself. Raditz's corpse had been reduced to stone, crumbling as it hit the ground. Wonder Woman was unconscious. She had been able to protect her allies and the Earth, but her proximity to the blast had taken her out of the fight.
Raditz, I'm sorry you were alone all those years. Bruce, take care of everyone here, alright?
You can't take him on alone.
I have to try.
Goku flew down to where Vegeta stood. The prince's arms were crossed as he was visibly showing annoyance at the fact that Raditz had cost him an interesting opponent. Though, from the technique he saw Kakarot use against Raditz, it at least seemed that he was better than the rest.
Hey, Vegeta, was it? Do you think we can move this elsewhere?
Now why would I do that? Your little friends here give me the perfect chance to take you out, like that Wonder Woman.
Something tells me you wouldn't want to win like that.
Perceptive. Fine, I'll play along.
Goku shot off first, with Vegeta casually matching his speed. They travelled for a brief moment before Vegeta grew bored and decided for himself. He landed on the ridge of a deep canyon, while Goku landed on the opposite side. Goku was relieved that it seemed like there were no people or animals here.
Why are you in such a hurry?
The quicker I settle this business, the quicker I can get to my real mission.
Well, I'm actually kind of looking forward to this. From what I know, you're meant to be our prince. Not every day a low class gets to spar with an elite.
Such rankings are behind me. I serve a higher purpose now than any Saiyan. Taking pride in what sent you to this mudhole is hardly becoming.
Being sent here was the best thing that could have happened to me. I'm not ashamed of who I am or where I came from. I'm Kakarot Kent, and I'm proud of that.
Vegeta gritted his teeth at the remark, but quickly regained his composure.
Then you die a proud Saiyan warrior. See what good it does you.
After a moment of silence, a pebble split from a nearby rock, and the war began. Their battle was intense from the start, but it was clear that Vegeta was playing with Kakarot, taunting him during the exchanges, while Kakarot had to focus every instinct he had on staying alive. Kakarot's main advantage was his freeform style, managed to divert Vegeta's blows and use his momentum against him to land some hits. But while this kept him in the game, Vegeta quickly adapted and began to overpower him once more. They charged towards each other, their arms locking together in a fierce struggle. Vegeta's greatest strength and stamina started pushing Kakarot back, knowing that he couldn't win this battle without using both the control and the chaos inside of him. Kakarot closed his eyes, taking a deep breath as his aura began to emerge from around him in spirals.
Okay, power up then.
Vegeta felt Kakarot's grip tighten as the Saiyan's muscles began to swell up. Kakarot opened his eyes, no longer black. An explosion of green energy erupted around the duo, and Vegeta suddenly found his arms flung back.
The car,
a powerful kick, accelerated by Kakarot's technique, smashed into his jaw. Kakarot's fist struck him in the gut, doubling him over, and a rapid blast of chi from Kakarot's other hand sent him flying back.
What is this technique?
Kakarot was using the power of the Great Ape in rapid bursts, his chi training allowing him to control the excess of power while still maintaining his senses. Kakarot blasted off again, landing another barrage of kicks far too fast for the prince to follow. Thanks to harnessing his Uzaru power, Kakarot had turned the tables, the battle switching to Vegeta desperately trying to keep up an offensive, as Kakarot would strategically use his new technique in bursts to counter whatever Vegeta tried. Their damage was beginning to even out now, and Kakarot felt himself overwhelmed with joy at getting to go all out with this new move. Kakarot's smile quickly faded as he felt his power begin to plummet.
I'm so dumb! I never had a chance to see if this technique had any drawbacks!
Kakarot was feeling every subsequent burst of power getting weaker, and himself losing stamina fast. This technique was powerful, but it relied on him having enough of his own energy to control the Uzaru power. It couldn't be used repeatedly, or else he could lose the ability to suppress the form altogether.
So, Kakarot, it seems you've still got some tricks up your sleeve. I'm still going to kill you, fool. You're a dishonor to the power you wield. It's an abomination.
Huh, so you do care about all that Saiyan stuff after all.
Vegeta hadn't fully realised what he said until he said it, but now Kakarot had got under his skin.
Okay, Vegeta,
deny it,
Kakarot.
This battle was resurfacing instincts he thought were long dead. The idea of this low-class filth giving him trouble, it gnawed at him from the inside. But he kept it down. He had to, for Darkseid.
You dare doubt my resolve!
They clashed again, but this time it was Vegeta who went on the offensive, dealing out heavy blows that pounded relentlessly on Kakarot's defenses. Despite his determination, Kakarot couldn't catch his breath. He was fighting at maximum speed, pushing every muscle to the limits of its performance. Each block was firm, each counterattack was precise, but there was an unprecedented tenacity in Vegeta's attacks that he couldn't match. He had to go further. He couldn't let himself fall now, not after.
I feel like people forget Vegeta actually won this fight in Dragon Ball Z. I feel like people don't bring that up. I just feel like, you know, people just like skip the part where Krillin and Gohan pulled up, and even if you my fault, they bypassed the part that when Krillin and Gohan pulled up. It's like, oh yeah, Goku won. No, Vegeta won this fight. You know what I'm saying? It just, yeah, Krillin and Gohan, Yajirobe, like really helped bring the fight on home.
Come on, buddy! Give me everything I've got!
Kakarot's aura doubled in size, his hair whipping in the wind as he crashed into Vegeta with a single full power body blow. The prince coughed up blood, his eyes widening as he felt his chest light on fire. Kakarot was relentless. The more power he tapped into, the more he felt his sense of self begin to fade. But he tempered this fury with the control he was taught from his masters. Using the chance to strike him with pressure point blows, the training on Earth on full display as Kakarot systematically cut off Vegeta's oxygen, with a final blast sending him crashing into the mountainside. Vegeta struggled to breathe, yet his mind was racing with only one thought: rage. Pure rage at this insignificant clown reducing him to such a pathetic state. He erupted in a dramatic display of power, storm clouds brewing and covering the night sky.
I belong to the upper echelon of the most elite warrior class that the universe has ever seen! I will not allow myself to fall before this low-class trash!
He could no longer hide it. His pride refused to be silenced any longer. This was the ultimate insult, and even Darkseid could not deny Vegeta his fury now.
My noble blood, spilled by the sheer luck of this trash? No, I will not allow this to stand!
Vegeta shot up into the air. He lifted his arms, the rocks around him crumbling from the energy released. Kakarot stood, one hand still grabbing at his shattered ribs.
Vegeta, wait! I know you're enjoying this battle too! We're both Saiyans! You're showing that you can fight what he turned you into!
But his pleas fell on deaf ears. Vegeta was beyond reasoning now.
I just don't have enough energy to fight back! But I have to try!
Kakarot winced in pain as he pulled both his fists towards the center of his chest.
Okay. It is time to take back what is mine! Every breath you take is an assault to my honor.
Damn,
and for that I must thank you, Kakarot.
W voice acting.
By my hand, your blood will be the baptism for the rebirth of my pride. Galagan! Cannon!
The two beams met with a massive flash halfway between the pair of Saiyans. For a brief moment, the cataclysmic struggle was frozen as the concentrated power of Vegeta's attack met the earnest determination of Kakarot's. But Vegeta's blast simply had more raw power behind it, and slowly but surely began to overpower Kakarot's. He had no other choice. The only way he could save the planet, save everyone, was to fully immerse himself in the Great Ape power. For the first time since he had killed Pa Kent, this would be its redemption. He wasn't afraid anymore, and so he let go. The Chaos Cannon erupted with power. Kakarot twisted his fist and the beam began to twist like a drug, literally boring through Vegeta's own attack. Kakarot roared with primal fury, completely overpowering Vegeta's blast and sending him into the sky. Kakarot remained on the ground, continuing to roar, mindlessly powering up to his limits. He had defeated Vegeta, but now he had gone too far. He had lost control of his senses. Still alive, Vegeta watched the roaring Saiyan from above, even more angry at the fact that someone who couldn't maintain their senses was harnessing the power of the Great Ape. Luckily, he did not have such a weakness. Kakarot's mindless powering up was interrupted by the gigantic boot heel of Vegeta, now transformed thanks to the artificial moon he had created. While Kakarot's power was great, now that Vegeta was transformed, he stood no chance, especially without the control of his senses. Vegeta blasted Kakarot repeatedly, lighting up the night sky, before breaking his legs with his fist, taking his time and enjoying every second he had of getting payback for his humiliation.
To think I was actually enjoying our battle. You brought the Saiyan back out of me, Kakarot. No small feat, though one that will cost you your life.
Vegeta watched as the last bit of power left Kakarot's body. The hero had just regained his senses, but it was too late. His hair returned to normal and his primal roars were replaced with screams of pain. The pair were no longer alone, however, as the military force of Argus arrived on the scene, the air unit commanded by Steve Trevor and the weapons supplied by Lex Luthor. Luthor had deliberately waited before involving himself in the battle, wanting the threat to be seen as unstoppable, before swooping in to save the day. The soldiers blasted Vegeta, their weapons only serving to annoy him as he began to swipe at the tanks and planes with his tail, using his mouth blast to wipe out large portions of the force. Luthor wasn't impressed and initiated his main plan. Alex Core satellite floating in Earth's orbit began to fire strange rays at Vegeta, not harming him but draining the blood waves from the Saiyan's body. Luthor had discovered Kakarot's ability to transform due to researching him during their initial encounters, analysing samples of his blood from various battlefields and discovering the secrets of Saiyan biology. The plan was working until Vegeta's armor, which held his mother box, detected the blood waves leaving his body and began to create its own artificial source to keep Vegeta transformed. Luthor could prepare for the Saiyans, but not for Darkseid. Vegeta was furious at this fact, having no idea his armor was designed this way. Needing this outside help was a reminder for how he'd live without his pride, and it sent him into a blind rage. The giant ape crushed the stunned army, while Luthor looked on from the safety of his bunker, his drones allowing him to monitor the scene. Despite fighting to the last bullet in his chamber, Steve Trevor was killed. Kakarot was forced to lay and watch as the man was crushed by Vegeta, helpless. Vegeta's gloating didn't last long, as Wonder Woman re-emerged, beaten, but having enough strength to arrive just in time to see her lover killed. With all her Amazonian strength, Wonder Woman leapt past Vegeta's defenses and sliced off his tail in one swift blow. Vegeta was back to his normal state, panting but not defeated yet. He charged at Wonder Woman, overpowering what remained of her strength, and began to mercilessly attack her in revenge for his tail. His assault was stopped by the intervention of what remained of the Justice League, with Batman getting the Batplane's autopilot to kamikaze into the Prince. Vegeta emerged from the flames, with Hawkgirl hammering him with her mace while he was dazed. When he blasted her back, Martian Manhunter began to assault him mentally, breaking through the Saiyan's defenses just enough to hold him in place. This gave Luthor the chance to send the final orbital strike onto Vegeta, his satellite harnessing power from the sun itself.
They jumping that nigga, I love it.
Yet still, Vegeta stood.
I have to admit, you really did a number on me. But I still have enough strength to take care of weaklings like you.
Vegeta began to charge his energy for an explosive wave that would wipe them all out at once, but before he could fire it, the Flash smashed his fist against the Saiyan's chest, cracking his armor. Vegeta went to counter, but by that time the Flash was already on the other side of the world, speeding up to launch another blow. He went to strike Vegeta again, but without turning his head, the Prince fired a blast on the ground beneath them both, erupting Flash's footing with a blinding explosion. Wally West was knocked out. The Prince had used the last of his energy to ensure the Flash was out cold, approaching Wally to make sure this threat was taken care of.
Not bad. You might have taken me out if you actually knew how to fight.
Vegeta was distracted, and Wonder Woman, having been given enough energy from Kakarot to move, took the chance to slash across his back, cutting through what remained of his armor and causing the Saiyan Prince to scream in pain, his body no longer having the strength to stand. Vegeta tried to get up, but he simply couldn't move. All the damage had piled up, and now he could barely crawl, grabbing his mother box from what was left of his armor and punching in the coordinates to send him back to Apocalypse. Diana limped over to the crawling Vegeta, realizing what he was doing, and so held her sword up with her non-broken arm. She was prepared to end this threat herself. He could not be allowed to escape. She would do it for Steve.
Diana, don't do it! Please, don't kill him!
Why? Look around you. Is this justice? Is it justice to allow this creature to live after all the lives he has taken?
I know, you're right. He's so strong that as long as he's alive, no one on Earth is really safe. But you've got to listen to me. Maybe this is just me being selfish, but right now, just as you were about to kill him, I couldn't help but think that it would be such a waste. I thought I'd gotten as strong as I could get. But fighting Vegeta? Seeing how far he could go? It got me excited. Maybe it's just because I'm a Saiyan too, but during our battle, I could tell he'd been warped. That his pride in himself had been taken from him a long time ago. I was lucky enough to be sent here, where I had a chance to use my love of fighting to better myself.
Hit him with a powerful speech.
But Vegeta,
go Kakarot.
He never had a chance to be anything more than this.
Diana stared down at Vegeta, who was still struggling to use his mother box. After what felt like an eternity, she took a breath and then dropped her sword.
Very well. I trust your judgment. If you believe he deserves a chance, then I shall be the one to ensure it. No more blood shall be spilled this day.
Vegeta, however, began to laugh, coughing up blood as he did.
Well, it's about time for me to make my exit. But this isn't over. Not by a long shot. There won't be a miracle to save you next time. When he finds out what you've done, Darkseid will...
Vegeta paused, a look of terror washing over his face. He knew what would happen if he returned to Darkseid in this state. A failure. It would mean the death that is life. The Omega Sanction. The prince dropped his mother box, deciding that whatever destiny awaited him here, it would be far more escapable than what Darkseid would do to him. As the survivors began to collect themselves, they all looked on in shock as Green Lantern arrived in the scene,
about to fuck you
but
up.
not the one they were familiar with.
You're not Hal Jordan. Who are you?
My name is Kyle Rayner, and I know how to save everyone.
The heroes of Earth had managed to survive, but at great cost. Yet this new figure has arrived, speaking of a chance to bring back those who had been lost. The future of the universe seems uncertain as a new chapter has begun.
Okay.
Thank you all for watching the Dragon Ball DC Saiyan saga. As you can tell by that little teaser at the end, this is just the beginning of this story. We've got a lot more.
Alright. Ooh, that was a fire 2 chapters right there. Hey. That was a fire Saiyan saga. That was a fire Saiyan saga right there. I love it. I love that he added a lot of Dragon Ball into the DC universe. That was beautiful. Because that fight was pretty much the Saiyan saga of Goku and Vegeta fight, pretty much, just without Gohan and Krillin. Like, that was fire. But in DC, I loved it all around. So, shout out to the Geek for Fun. But of course, we're going to continue this story, you know what I'm saying, next time. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all like, how y'all feel about the story down below. And you know what I'm saying, I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.